everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 54 of Direwolf20's Let's Play Satisfactory series, where I'm snagging some of these dudes, because I want to make my very first, for the first time ever, drumroll please, particle accelerator! Very excited to check this bad boy out. The particle accelerator, as you can see, has 2 item inputs, 1 fluid input, and 1 item output. Look at this bad boy. Oh my goodness, he is cool looking. Let's check him out. So the particle accelerator is how we're going to make plutonium pellets or nuclear pasta. Which, yeah, that's cool. That's a Project Part 9 component. So this guy is going to use a variable amount of power, it looks like, to make plutonium pellets. We're going to need 100 non-fissile uranium per minute, 25 waste per minute. Now, you're currently producing 50 per minute. So we either want to double overclock this, which we might be able to do with all the production we're doing. Shouldn't actually be too much of a problem. Because you're doing plenty of these, right? Like, you're doing 75-ish, and you're currently only using 25, so more than enough of that. Nitric acid, we halved this, so if we made it 100%, we could double overclock this, no problem. And then we just add 15 to the sulfur production over here, and we should be cool. Right? So you would be, instead of 63, you would be 78. Is that doable? 75. So I'm going to have to throw another one of these in here. So that would be 78. Did I math that right? Pretty sure I did. So then you could be double overclocked. You could be brought up to 100%. And we should be fine all around. And water seems to be doing a good job over here, by the way. Don't seem to be having any problems with the nitric acid and the water balance. We'll see if that continues to be perfection. But now you're going to double overclock, and you're going to be producing 100 non-fissile uranium per minute, which is exactly what we're going to need for this bad boy. And then we just need to split you. And do you. And give you some power, and we're good to go. Dun 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 dun. And I might, you know, speed these bad boys up. Because why not? Max speed them. So particle accelerator, how cool do you look when you turn on? Is he charging up? Is that what's happening? Oh, look at this. The second one turns on now. I just want to see, like, yeah, look, we're hitting 450 megawatts. Dude, this is cool. And now the big one's turning on. Oh, I love it. I love everything about it. It is so cool. It is so cool. Now, how's my power situation in general going? Because this is going to be quite the hit, but not too bad. Max consumption is still way above what we can potentially produce, but our current consumption is doing okay. And then it resets and starts the process over again. So it takes about a full minute to do a production, I guess, because it makes 30 at a time, and it makes 30 per minute. So that's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. And plutonium pellets are now being produced. That's cool. Now, I think we can awesome sync these. If we wanted to. And that would basically remove all of our non-fissile uranium. So if you said to yourself, I just want to get rid of all my uranium, the nuclear waste stuff, so basically these things, if you said to yourself, I don't like this stuff existing, I want to get rid of it. Wow, we're down to 100 fuel. We really are burning through fuel quickly with this jetpack. If you just wanted to get rid of this stuff, no problemo. No problemo. But that's not the situation we find ourselves in, presumably. We definitely don't want to just get rid of this stuff. Wow, this is cool. I like this. I like everything about it. It's really, really working out perfectly. Let's look into the next step. Right? So the next step would be encased plutonium cells, which just needs a little bit of concrete. And an assembler. Right? So if I wanted encased plutonium cells... There you are. You'll make 10 per minute plutonium pellets, and 20 concrete per minute. So what I'm probably going to want to do then is something like that. Yeah? So that'll use up the 30 plutonium pellets per minute that we're producing here. Yes? So if we wanted to be hyper cool about this, which we always do, right? Yes, this makes more sense. I'm like, why does this look wrong to me? It looked wrong because I was doing it wrong. Cool. So then we're going to tap into you. 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to want... We're going to run out of fuel eventually is what's going to happen. But what we're going to want is our concrete powder, which is up here-ish. We're going to basically want you to be a splitter on here. You think this will work? No matter what I do, I'm going to be encroaching on another's clearance, aren't I? Now, are you all Mark 5s or whatever? You're Mark 3s. You're a Mark 5. I can upgrade you to a Mark 5. Yeah, you might be tricky to get this thing to behave, because it's a little bit tight here. It's a little bit tight. We're going to have to see about that. Yeah, we're very much just encroaching on this bad boy's clearance, aren't we? Yes. So maybe we need to loop it around the back. That might be the alternate solution here. Loop this concrete like right around the back-ish. This is going to be so dire-wiry. So I think it'll be okay. Oh, and we're out of fuel. Perfect timing, and we're out of fuel. But I think we can make this work before we have to get more fuel. And then you guys are going to start making encased plutonium fuel cells. Nice. Alright, I'm going to run back home. Slowly but surely. Limp back home is probably more like it at this stage. Because my power suit is 100% going to run out of juice. Get me some more fuel, and we'll be right back. Whoo, just barely making it. I'm going to snag 5 stacks this time. Ugh, so much better. Look at that fuel recharge. I do like the I love the modular power suits. They're so cool. So much awesomeness to them. And there's a hotkey for dropping, but it doesn't seem to work on the hover suit, which is a little bit of a bummer. Look, can't wait for like I said, first version of the mod, right, that was released publicly. Really, really good all around. A couple minor bugs, nothing major. And so far, very much enjoying it. Alright, so now we've got these dudes being produced, encased plutonium fuel cells, which can then be turned into plutonium fuel rods, courtesy of steel beams, electromagnetic dudes, and heat sinks. Right? Did we ever fly heat sinks over here? I'm 99.9% sure we have not set up a heat sink setup, right? But that's the gist of how it all is going to work. Now, plutonium fuel rods are moderately radioactive, which would explain the radiation intensity on the bottom there. How are you doing? Plutonium pellets? Working beautifully. Working beautifully. So let's see. It's a manufacturer that I do not have the resources to make at the moment that we're going to need. Back in a minute. Told you we'd start back stuffing on this stuff now. Look, it's working. We did it. By changing the computers last episode, we are now back stuffing on cables once again, which is very, very good news for me. Very pleased to see that happening. Nice. All right, cool. Let's real quick just take a peek at what the manufacturer recipe is going to look like to get plutonium fuel rods. So we're going to need a decent amount of these. We're going to need some steel beams, electromagnetic control rods, and heat sinks. So that means we're going to want to bring heat sinks over to our base. So under transportation, let's set up 2 more drone ports and a drone, and make sure that we have all the things we need for that. So I'm definitely going to need quite a few things. You can see that I switched to normal flight, the jetpacky flight, because I do enjoy that more when I'm traveling. Like if I'm moving around, jetpack flight better. If I'm... These are the wrong batch of drawers that I want. I want this batch of drawers. If I'm building hover flight, clearly a big time winner right there, but... Cool. Okay. That should be good. Radio control units we're going to want more of. 49 sounds like a good number. And then we just need a portable miner and we're good to go. So heat sinks are made where? Up here? Now, are they brought down here? Is that what's happening? This is the heatsink manufacturer, right? Pretty sure that's the case. No, that's the cooling system manufacturer. So, wrong again, Direwolf. These are your heatsink makers. Aluminum alclad sheets, 11.25 heatsinks per minute, and an overclocked one. Now, how many do we need for the manufacturer that's going to be making these guys? 2.5. So even if we doubled this, which is, by the way, what I'm probably going to wind up wanting to do, one of these should be enough, right? So I think that's cool. So we can either have a dedicated heatsink, which might be the smart route to go. How do we feel about that? A dedicated heatsink might be cool. Because you're overclocked, I got to assume that you're using, yeah, 24 heat sinks per minute. So if that thing needs to run, I don't want heat sinks to be slowed down. So we're going to want dedicated heat sinks. So let's throw down another assembler here, in line with this one, if you guys don't mind. Do I have a nearby power pole that I can tap into? I do. And then you're going to be a heatsink maker, dedicated to what's going to be the drone guy, right? So now you're happily producing heatsinks. Nice. You can run your conveyor line straight between these two buildings. To a drone system. Let's move this just a little bit. I want it there so that I can do this alone, and that would be cool. Does that work? And then you just need a little bit of power. Cool. And then the heat sinks can go in here, and then you're just going to need a battery connection system that shouldn't be too hard to set up, because I think batteries run like really close to this area. Yes, they do. So what we can do is something like that. We'll splitter the batteries, which are still hilariously not backstuffed, but then we run that up to there. Is that the right item? That is not the right item. Our battery line is this one. That looks better to me. And then in theory, we'll get batteries at some point showing up in here. Cool? In theory. Now, why are you still not, like, how are you still not even close to backstuffed? So you're using 2.7 per minute. Like, battery production, what in the world is all I gotta say to you. I have yet to figure out why I'm so bad at making batteries. This shouldn't be all that hard. Every time I go to do something with batteries, I'm like, why is my battery production low? I'm always not making enough alumina solution. How am I not making enough alumina solution? That doesn't make any sense. Because you're producing... Are you not getting enough water over here, bro? Because you're only at 80%. So that is definitely a problem. I thought we, like, opened up all the valves and everything. I don't think we have any more valves on you, right? These things are all, like... Well, let's just 600 it. Why not? Like, just go broke. Do it. I thought we opened everything up. Tired of you guys not behaving. Make enough alumina solution, would you? Not that much to ask for. See, he's idle at the moment. How? Because you guys are all running, yes? Yeah, they all got green lights on. They're all doing their thing. They're all Mark II pipes. Alright, now we're happy. I think it just took a minute. So, you know, you should be cool now. We'll just make sure that none of the water... Remember, like, our problem was wastewater, right? Hopefully, this doesn't build up too much in here. We'll find out. If it does, then we'll just have to... Because he's already building up a little bit, isn't he? This is the one that I just changed from 480, right? Like, maybe I want you to be like... $524. I'm making this up as I go. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm just spitballing these numbers. The numbers should all add up the way I had them originally, but they're just obviously not. All I need you to do is make batteries, Chief. I'm not asking for a lot here. I'm not asking for a lot here. Just make batteries. Please. We'll see if that starts to behave. But again, we've checked this math like 16 times. We know it's right. But it's 180, and 120 is 300, and 120 is 420. Minus 360. Well, 360 plus 40. Should be more than enough, right? 420? I don't know. I don't understand why the Illumina solution is so weird. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, 360 and 40 is 400, and I'm making 420. So I should be making 20 more Illumina solution than I need. And I'm just not working out. So anyway, this is going to be my heat sinks. So let's name this drone port appropriately. You should be getting batteries at this point? You are. Good. All right. So heat sink. What have I been naming things? Heatsink dash base. Does that sound cool? Right, so all the heat sinks will land in here. We'll teleport out to our nuclear area and get heat sinks out there so that we're ready to turn them into plutonium-based fuel rods. Cool beans? Works for me, right? Nuclear. Whoosh. Alright, so that should be cool. Now, the plutonium-based fuel rods, what are they going to look like by terms of... Though they're highly radioactive. Good to know. Compared to... what? Non-fissile uranium is mildly radioactive. Uranium waste is highly radioactive. Because I kind of, like, want to store them for a little bit, but we'll figure it out. So anyway, let's get our drone port over here, flying in some stuff, right? And I'm going to re-equip integrated hover module off. And iron ore can be voided. And hover... I'm going to use the work in progress one because I just don't want to burn through my fuel so much. Cool? Alright, so let's get this dude up and running. And also, I just heard from the Power Suit guys that they're going to be releasing an update soon that fixes a lot of the minor issues I've been having. So, woot for that. They'll fix the dropping thing and a few other details. So, very excited. So let's get drones up and running. So you, sir, should be a merger facing that direction so that you're all ready to empty out your plutonium fuel rods, which is very exciting. Then we want our drone port here-ish, such that you're outputting there-ish. And you then, in theory, should only need power. Okay, and you will be heat sink uranium. This port will go to heatsink base, and heatsink base will come to this port. Cool? And then I just have to put a drone here. And we should be good to go. And he'll start bringing heat sinks over. Oh my goodness, I'm rebooting. Oh my goodness, all the damage. There we go. Rebooting complete. Be on the ground, Dyer. Nice. Very, very cool. So then you're ready to output your heat sinks. And then you're ready to output your fuel rods. And we'll have our manufacturer here. Okay. And then... yeah, that is 100% a fail on my part. So you're going to be plutonium fuel rods. Let's put these guys in here for the time being so that they're not sitting in my inventory making a giant disastrous mess. Just a little snaky. Just a little snaky. Don't mind Dyer. This is fine. Cool. So your heat sinks will come in. So now we just need to get steel beams and electromagnetic control rods. We need 4.5 steel beams per minute. And as I recall, we're making steel beams over here. As I recall, I made this a little compact, and it might be hard to get the steel beams, but I'm making them, so that's cool. So steel beams are right here. We need 4.5. We're currently producing 10 per minute, and we're using 10 per minute. But I could bring this up to 15 per minute without a problem. And that would wind up using some number of steel. I'll just leave it. My inventory's fine right now. 60 per minute of steel, and you are producing 45 per minute of steel. So I could probably that into 60 per minute. And that just increases the iron and coal costs, which we should have no problem meeting the needs. So I'm cool with that, if you guys are cool with that. If y'alls are good with it, I'm good with it. And then I realistically just need... what I'd like to do is run this parallel to this guy. Would this be horrible? Alright, I think I did it. I purposely didn't record that last bit because it was very dire-wiry, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So steel beams are a thing. Heat sinks should be flying over here, right? You guys, not enough batteries. Oh, because the drone's here. I need to start the drone on the other side. And that'll get heat sinks happening. Let me go handle that. Okay, so the drone gets built on the side with the batteries. And he should start transporting heat sinks momentarily. See all the heat sinks he's got on him? 140. Beautiful. Alright, now... what else did I want to do while I was here? Something... oh, I remember. When we get back to the location where I want to do something. Alright, so now what we want to do is get electromagnetic control rods, which are already splitting, so yay for that forethought, Direwolf. Yes, that was easy. Hashtag that was easy. Hey, look, my heatsink showed up. Oh my goodness, my power suit. I'm taking all the damage. Taking all the damage while my suit reboots. It's all good, though. And hey, that's cool. So, now what I might want to do is double this. Which should be fine. Yeah. And that'll allow me to process 15 encased plutonium cells per minute, which should be what I'm making right here. Because you're doing 5 times 3, so 15. Right? So if we want this to be a break-even point, either making 2 manufacturers or just double overclocking it. At this stage, it doesn't matter because it's really just more power. I would call that a good win. Right? And then we've got plutonium fuel rods, which we can then start stocking up on in a storage container. Sweet. Now it's going to obviously be a hefty amount of nuclear waste and radiation intensity here, but at least it burns through this stuff. Now, with regards to these fuel rods that we're making, plutonium fuel rods, my goodness, why am I taking so much damage? Oh, are we out of... Oh, that's not good. Let's get out of here. We're out of iodine-infused filters. We better get out of here. We better get out of here. I'm going to put on my normal jetpack and go make more much because, yes. Yeah. Back in a minute. There we go. Mucho better. Luckily, these things are made with components I have on me typically. Let's put it that way. So let's go see how this is coming along, because we should be, at this point, getting somewhere. And I'm no longer in flight mode, but, like, all of this seems to be working out pretty nicely, which is cool. And you are making 0.25 per minute, so literally it takes 4 minutes to make one of these. At the current speed, I don't know if it's finished making the first one, but then it should be half a minute when this is done, right? Because, yeah, look, it's still only saying 7.5. But look how fast my radiation is burning down there, because there's just a lot of bad stuff in this area. It's all around a bad place to be. But in about a minute, I'm just going to try and get away from too intense of a radiation area so that my filters aren't depleting too quickly. I just made 20 more of them, and that may or may not be enough for too long. But yeah, looking pretty good, right? 90% now. Give it another 30-ish seconds, and we should be good to go. Yeah, that's the whole production line, I think. I call that pretty good. I really do. I think that's pretty good. All the things going nicely. Yeah, and now you're going to double in a moment, but we'll still be good, because it's only going to be 9 steel beams per minute, which I think we amped it up enough that I can handle 9 extra per minute, right? I think we were making 15 more per minute. We just capped it out. So I think we're cool, right? All this stuff looking good. Everything looking good all around. I like it. I really do think that this is going to do a nice job of burning through all of our nuclear waste, which is cool. And then we can straight up use these fuel rods in our nuclear power plants to produce even more power for the base, which is cool. Even more power for the base, which is cool. Like, I kind of want to make one and just see, do we have the resources to make a nuclear power plant? We kind of do. As long as I'm not encroaching on anybody else's clearance, we could throw another one of these down here. Floor is too steep? You really just need a large footprint, don't you? I mean, obviously we're going to need some water into this thing. Which wouldn't be too bad, but, like, you can 100% see me looping this around. So if I wanted to automate this, I 100% could. I don't know if I want to yet. Because we definitely don't need the power, right? That's what it comes down to. We 100% do not need the energy we're producing at the moment. It's more because A, I wanted to burn through all this nuclear waste we've got, and B, to see what the process looks like. So it shouldn't be too bad. But we would need to get water in here, which would be a little bit rough. Not terrible, obviously. Not terrible. But we would need to get some in here. Maybe. Alright, I think what I'm going to do, just for funsies, is between episodes, set up a water pump to get water up here, right? Which shouldn't be too bad. We should have no problem running a water line up here. And we just need to... I'm going to do it off camera. You saw me do it for my other nuclear reactors, so there's no reason to watch me do it now. But what I'll do is come back next episode then and be ready to get this up and running. Just to turn it on and see. I don't know if there's a difference in the amount of power plutonium makes versus uranium. Like, is it going to make more power? More megawatts? Is it going to be the same? Does it last longer? Does it last shorter? I don't know. We're going to find out. And then we'll see what our next steps are for this game, because this is kind of the last thing to really make. So there's a few approaches I can take. Option one would probably be just to wrap up the series, because, you know, we'll just see. We've done most things that there are to see. Option two would be to redesign our entire factory so that we can produce all the parts we need. And then option three would probably be to redesign all our factories so we can produce all the parts we need and make all the components for the final launch into the space elevator to complete, quote-unquote, complete the game. So, like, at this point, we've done everything there is to do to further unlock new technologies and new research, right? The last step would be just to go crazy with production of resources, so that we can fulfill the last space elevator part, which doesn't really unlock anything. So we'll see. For now, though, it's wrapping up point. Go ahead and vote for me. Like, go ahead and drop some comments in. Do you want me to go crazy? And I'm not going to, like, obviously, I can't satisfy everybody. Some people will probably want me to wrap up the series. Other people will probably want it to continue. So we'll see what you guys have to say. But for now, wrapping up point. Untitled 20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.